Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome once again to another exciting Vobie One-Eyed Kenobi Showbie with me, Richard Vobes. Here I am on the 13th of January 2021. It's 8 o'clock where I am, but it might be a different time where you are, so check your watch. Actually, talking of watches, that lovely watch that came in from Chris along with the phone, is trying to work out how to change the time. So if Chris is watching, do let me know. It's in the other room, actually. I might have to go and get it and bring it in if anybody can tell me how to do it. I want to try and do it without using the telephone or the mobile phone. It's just quite nice to have the watch, but the time is wrong. So maybe somebody can help me out on that. Hello, welcome to the show. We have some art in today's show. I'm looking smart in today's show. And we have some smart art on video. Yeah, and we have some marvellous videos as well. That's the kind of show it is. We haven't got the lovely Julia in today. We did that the other day. Just making sure that you can hear me. I've had a bit of a rearrange in the studio. I've been trying to sort of work it so that everything was good and better and exciting, because we're stuck in this silly old lockdown business and we can't get the lovely Julia in here because the law will come banging on the door, which is a big shame. Curiously, of course, if Billy and Sharifa were to actually leave, I would then be living on my own, and technically Julia could come, according to the legislation. But she can't come whilst there's two other adults, or one other adult in the house. I don't know why that is. It should be safer with two other adults in the house, visiting a stranger on their own. That would be very bizarre. Yeah, we have another. Hang on, I'll show you, because those people who didn't see, my wires are a bit all over the place. But here we go. Here's a quick view of the desk in front of me. It's my Allen and Heath desk with a keyboard on there, the phone and what have you. And there is the baldy bloke. It looks like Mission Control now, doesn't it? But actually, for all of that, it still doesn't do what I want it to do, which is irritating. It's a technical thing. I won't go into it because I bored myself senseless with it over the last 2 days. Tuesday and Wednesday. Today. I even had to do the reading show from the studio because I was having technical issues. Once you've got something, never break it. Never break it. Never fiddle. Never fiddle with it, because once it's working, it's blooming well working. Anyway, hello to all you lovely people out there. Let's find out who we've got. Make sure that you can actually hear me, which would be very good. Assuming that you can. The lovely Julia is out there in Vobie land, which is lovely. Station Master's Choice, of course. Anna Jones. We have Tall Podge Rog, or Rog Podge Todge, whichever he wants to be today. Who else have we got? We got Kerry Baldwin and Mark Burgess and Michael White and Glyn Horton and Judith, the lovely Judith. Hello, lovely Judith. Billabong O'Neill, Witchfinder General, Vincent Quill, Audrey Forbes Hamilton. How the devil are you? Mother Nature is there. At Home with Mindy is also there. Clive Waterfall, lovely to see you. Perhaps Richard should start doing a roll call at the beginning of each show. Wait a minute, I do kind of do a bit of that. We have Andrew Murphy, we have Ron Langley, we have Connor's Dark Corner, Elaine Whitelock, we have Susan Luca, we have G Ramps, we have Dave over yonder, Ed Loud, Kate Evans, Ron Langley, gosh, Ian Dance, there's so many people, Rasputin of Arlington, we have Bob Figg, we have Sensible Paul, Mike Stevens as well, and if I've missed you, I do apologise. I'm sure you're there. Andrew Norris has just joined us. Fantastic. There we go. People joining all the time, of course, and why wouldn't they? It's the most exciting show on the internet, bar the other one you were watching that was really good and gripped your attention. Anyway, we are developing the show. The show is developing and getting better, and hopefully will one day replace everything. Well, not everything, just everything at 8 o'clock. On a Monday, Wednesday and Friday. Why not? Anyway, I'm here manhandling a desk which looks incredibly exciting. But believe me, not as technically difficult as you might think, in actual fact. Let me just show you one more time. Here, look. So here is, if it's in focus, here is the desk. And it does look, it does look massively impressive with all these knobs. But the thing about it, the secret of these desks is you only have to learn one channel. You only have to learn just one channel. What do these knobs do? And they don't do very much, actually. It looks more impressive than this, because all the other knobs along here do pretty much the same until you get to the far end, which is down here, because that's when it gets a bit problematic. And then you just got to work out what goes in there. All of these at that end, even more complicated, but we're not going to worry about that at all. So it's quite easy. Most of it is like, your treble bass and stuff. There's auxiliaries. You don't want to know about that. That's about sort of sending the signal somewhere and then having it come back so that you can, or putting it onto another channel so that you can fiddle about with it somewhere. That bit's complicated. Even that bit is, unless I'm using it all the time and doing it, you find that you can learn it very quickly. But the last time I used this desk was probably about 10 years ago. So it's like, oh yeah, I forgot about that a bit now. What does that do? So I had to do a bit of like, how does that work? Sort of brain thinking. And most of the problem is not so much that, it's with the video, sending Julia in so that I can have as less bandwidth going out than I need, rather than having to. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Welcome along. It's lovely to see you. Isn't it been a miserable day? It has been a miserable day. Oh my goodness, hasn't it been a miserable day? Whew, yes, and it's still here. It's going to stay with us, this misery and all of that, for some time to come, unfortunately. But we've got to look at it as a potential to get lots of other bits and pieces done that we wouldn't ordinarily do. And most people are hibernating anyway, so what the hell. 90 viewers in 5 minutes, says Mike Stevens. That's marvellous. If you're watching and you think any of this is reasonably good, why not give me a thumbs up? I don't know what it really does, to be honest with you. Thumbs up, thumbs down, who cares? Oh, sorry. Thumbs up, thumbs down, who cares? I don't know. It just makes me feel good. Vince Quill says, sup. Andrew, sup, thanks for your comments about the Cigna vid. I don't know what that's about. Evening all, says Sensible Paul. You're all looking a lot less red tonight. Yes, I have got red on, but I don't know why it's not coming out as red. It should be being picked up by the cameras there. But it's probably because I've got white on. If I take that off, the camera will probably reset a bit, Doesn't like the white. Although, it's not on automatic exposure, thank you very much. Oh, no, it's all on manual. I'm a professional, I know exactly what I'm doing. Believe that, and you'll believe anything. Where's Ernie, says Andrew Norris. Not sure where Ernie is. Ground control to Major Tom, says Michael White. Not quite sure what that's about. And probably more complex than the desk they used for Sergeant Pepper, says Mike Stevens. Probably not. Probably not, actually. As I say, it looks impressive, but it's very, very simplistic. Each channel, it's like just, on your home, in the old days when people used to have home Wi-Fis or hi-fis, they had you had an amplifier, and then you had an EQ, and you had a turntable and a cassette deck, and what else might you have had? You might have had a radio, some tuner. A tuner. They used to call it a tuner. BBC Radio, and all of that sort of nonsense. And really, it was just, it's that same old thing. Bit of treble, bit of bass, bit of middle. So that's what you got. A gain, that's your volume. Bit of gain on there. But then there's just buttons. If you want to sort of mute it, you can mute it and then bring it back with another button. Or you just send it to another channel if you need to add perhaps, a bit of reverb and stuff. This desk doesn't even have any effects on it. I can't use reverb unless I plug in, and I haven't got one to hand, a reverb unit. Some desks, cheap desks, little desks, will have effects in it. I've got a desk underneath here that's got some whizzy effects, and I should get that out. I should plumb. Maybe I will. Maybe I'll plumb that desk in instead, and we can see how it goes. Maybe one day I'll do a live hooking up a desk thing. Oh, that would be intensely boring. Intensely boring. Anyway, never mind all that. We're here. It's live. So, well, where are we? We're midweek. We've got some art, we've got some videos, and we've got you, and we've got me, and so it's all going to be good. Mike Stevens reminds us, yes, a radiogram. Rasputin of Artington says wireless. Remember the old wireless days? Cat's whisker. Didn't they? They called them a cat's whisker. Crystal set. Do you remember crystal sets? Blimey. My dad had a crystal microphone, which I suppose was like an early dynamic microphone. People going, what does dynamic microphone mean? But a dynamic microphone is a microphone, basically, it doesn't need any electricity in it. It's dynamic. It works off vibration. So here's the vibrations. It's very sensitive. Here's the vibrations in the air and records that sound, whereas an electric or a condenser microphone, like this one, does the same, but it's powered by a little bit of voltage just to help it along a bit. That's really how that works. Station Master's Choice says, I had a crystal set. Was Richard getting overheated, says Sensible Paul to Ron Langley to Sensible Paul. And Rick M says, crystal sets, less red. I know what you mean. In the face. Suddenly dawned on me. I did a show earlier in the Listen with Vobes show where I'm reading my book, and I moved the whole studio next door. Well, I just rebuilt the studio, basically. And it's all been packed away. I did it. It was a test. It was a test, you see. I was testing my own... Sometimes you've got to test the brain. Test the brain, make sure it works. So, yeah, it could be. Is Eric still under there? You're still under there. You see, when I've got my reverb... When I've got it'll work so much better, you see, because you'll get that, yes, sir, with the echo. Are you still under there? Yes, sir. There we are. He's definitely there. But I'll have to... what I need is a microphone. I need a microphone down there. So as I lean down, there's a little microphone there fixed with reverb. That's right, sir. I'm down in the basement, sir. Down in the basement? What are you doing down there? I'm archiving the show, sir. I'm doing it all, sir. Excrement. I'm very pleased to hear that. Right, shall we, let's go and we'll have a look at the video, and then we'll get some art going, we'll get the phones going. Let's get this show underway. It's almost 1:15, for goodness sake. What are you up to, Mr. Vobes? Let's have a look in the video box and see what we got. So in tonight's video box, we've got a couple of videos from Monday. If that's all right, if that's okay with you. Yeah, kind of. We've got Mike Stevens coming back from his walk that he started his walk on Monday. And also we've got Bernie starting his walk, or rather continuing his walk, that he was doing on Eastbourne on Monday too. So I think we'll start with a little bit of Bernie. We also, actually... We posed a bit of a question and a challenge, you may remember. And a challenge, yes. Anis McGowan told us all about that felting art. Do you remember? Amazing. Weren't we? We were amazed. Well, she's very kindly put together a video that tells us exactly how it works. So stay tuned for that one. But first, Bernie is there in Eastbourne, and he's continuing with the walk he did, exploring all the wonders and the history and all of that around in the old part of the town. So let's go and find out what Bernie's up to. Carry on, Bernie, is what I say.
Complete with the Lord of the Manor there, look. Thinking to himself, what's he doing up at this time of the morning? You'll notice that ironwork S on the wall there. You'll find these in a lot of old Sussex buildings. They are there because Sussex people used to be very, very religious and superstitious, and you put one of those on your house to ward off evil spirits. Here is the 12th century Church of St Mary in Greensand. Stands on the site of an earlier Saxon church, though very little of that remains. But we're here beside the Lamb Inn again, and I just want to show you this Celtic cross that's here. So, apparently it arrived, it was given by Cornwall, but I don't know much of the history about it. It just appeared here. Somewhat out of place, I think. But This is also where Tommy Cooper used to come. It was his local. He had a stall in the corner of the saloon bar, and despite his reputation for tightness, he bought me and my mate Jeff a drink on Friday night. But probably only because my mate was 6'7" and 3/4 inches tall, and he made a great thing of the 3/4, but he was taller than Tommy Cooper. And when we went into the bar for a quiet drink that night, Tommy looked him up and down. We said, "Leave Mr. Cooper." He looked him up and down, and he stood up. And he said, "Editor, get these lads a drink." Because he was 3 sheets to the wind by then. And so, yes, Tommy Cooper did put his hand in his pocket occasionally. And no, we didn't get the famous tea bag with the string on the end of it. I wonder why they took the plaque, the blue plaque, off of Tommy Cooper's old house. Ah, no. What they've done, they've obviously made the two houses into one, because there, you see, there is a tribute to the man. Probably one of the best comedians we've ever had. And I'll finish my walk there, because good memories, but rather sad.
Good memories, but rather sad. Ah, just like that. Not like that. Like that. Anyway, thank you very much, Bernie. It was lovely to see your video and see the completion of your video around old Eastbourne. And I love that. I didn't know about those S's. I thought those that bit of ironwork that was on those buildings was you know, like you sometimes see a thing going through to hold the brickwork together. That's what I thought. I didn't realise that was a little bit of something to what S, I suppose, for Sussex, presumably. But there we are. Nice one. Super duper. We're going to go and look at some art in a moment, but it's just going to let's just put the phone line open just for a moment, just in case there's somebody eager to call in, because every now and again we do get some some phone calls. We get some I can't think of a word that goes with artless. No, artful dodger ringing up, which is what we like. 0793 4746 790 is the phone number. Struggling with the putting people in. I was asked by Lisa Fox only the other day, Ramiboo, who said, why aren't you doing that thing where you put people in and zoom them in? And I'm struggling with the audio on it. We have a phone call, though. Let's make sure that that's still working. Hello, caller. Welcome to the Vobes One-Eye Kenobi Shobi. Hello? Anybody there? Earth to you.
Yes, it's G-Ramps.
Hello, G-Ramps.
I must be on the wrong show.
You're not. No, you're not on the wrong show. If you stop listening to the YouTube feed. Can you hear me on your phone?
Yeah.
Ah, excellent.
Now, first thing I wanted to tell you.
Yes.
I just tapped in. You just asked about that watch.
Yes.
Oh, I can see now. It's catching up again. Yeah. That watch. I just tapped in how to set the time on a Huey watch, and up it come, and I'll read it to you. Do you want me to read it to you?
Yeah. Why not?
Or all right. Just find the page.
Righto.
Right.
I ought to have the phone. Should I go and get the phone?
Well, that might be a bit long.
Oh, okay.
Then it says date and time. So you're going into the settings, date and time.
Yeah.
From here you can change the date and time. Enable set automatically to sync your device date and time with that of your mobile network. Disable set automatically to set your date and time.
Do you know when
lots of various other options you can delve into.
I like to delve.
That, and I'd also say,
Yeah.
if you can't get anywhere with that, the best person that might be able to do it is someone like um, Julia's older son.
Julia's older son. Why? Because kids are better at
Well,
technology than blokes,
yeah,
than
they're
old.
right into it, aren't they?
Yeah, that's very true. So the thing was, though, I did look for the dates and settings when I was going through it. But so you're saying tap the screen, and then on the menu it comes down. Is that what you're saying?
If you swipe up or down,
Yeah.
I'm not so sure about the tap screen, but if you swipe it from the edge up or down, you'll get into the various modes.
Right. I'll go
And
and
if
get.
you
I'll go and
swipe,
get after we've done the next item with a bit of art or whatever. I'll whiz over the back, and I'll grab hold of the phone and see if I can do it.
yeah,
How about that? That's Chris, isn't it? It's Chris.
yeah,
Yeah.
yes.
We need to set a date to do a recording for a conversation with at some point. I'll email you. I know I said this last week, but I've been running around like a blue bottomed
Yeah,
ferret.
the proverbial.
Yes, exactly. And so I managed to do that. But I'm gonna try. I'll go and get the watch, and we'll try it live on the show, and then you can laugh at my ineptitude. But how are you? How are you, Chris? Meanwhile, are you all right?
Yes, and I think that console you got there is far too big for what you need.
It is too big. It's far too. It's huge. I mean, it's massive, and of course you can't really see it in the main screen, but in the side, I need to get my. I need to put a little side screen on. It is huge, but it's and it doesn't do what I want it to do. So I probably need a virtual lead or something. A virtual sound lead or something in the it does everything else. It's brilliant, but it's when it's come to the video picture, I don't know. It's a bit bonkers.
And today I had my jab.
Oh, did you?
Now that's nothing in itself, but I
When,
thought it strange when they gave us all a card. By the way, there was hundreds of them, millions of old people, and I
Wow.
was one of them. But they gave us this card,
Yeah.
and they said, "Now keep this card because you got to come back with it and have
Oh, I see.
another one."
Is it like in one of these coffee places that it's like a reward
No,
thing?
this was in the surgery.
Oh, yeah, I know that. But if you go back to the surgery about 6 times and get it stamped, have 6 jabs, do you get like a free one or something, or a cuddly toy?
You might get a kick out of behind.
How many COVID jabs have you had? Oh, I've had the set. I've got all 10. Look,
Yeah,
every
we've
one.
all had the first one today.
Right. What was so that
But
was all right. It was just a jab.
but
You didn't feel painful. Your arm
no,
didn't drop off.
no. But the card was strange though because they give you the card. It tells you it's the Pfizer jab, which is supposed to be the best one,
Right.
and there's a space there for the next date. But she said, keep this card safely because you might be asked for it to get into places or go somewhere.
Right.
So although you can choose maybe not to have it, they're sort of manipulating it to say you might be banned from places.
Yeah. So in other words, you've got to
So
show your little
yeah, if you
vaccination
don't show
card.
the card, and that might even go down to the shop in itself.
So I mean, what is it? Is it just an ordinary card? What does it look
Yeah,
like?
just like a credit card.
Right. Is it plastic
It's
or is it
cardboard,
cardboard? So easily fakeable then.
probably.
I mean, if you were to scan it and print it out on a piece of card and send it to me,
Oh, well, I can't
I could be, I could go. Hey, look, I'm vaccinated. Let me in now, please. I want to do my shopping. No, can't come in here. Can't come in this shop without buy your food. Can you imagine a state like that where if you choose not to or you can't for whatever reason have a vaccination, that they turn around and say, "Sorry, mate, you're not coming in."
Yeah,
We can
but
throw the cabbages to you or at you, along with the tomatoes, but you're not coming in the store. Can you imagine that?
But I thought I'd throw it out there
Yeah. Gosh, that's
because
interesting, isn't it?
it was a strange one, yeah.
So you've got the Pfizer one, which
Which
is
is supposed to be the best.
yeah, and because we all know that Pfizer make other things as well. You can
Oh
get a
yeah.
little tingling down in
No, they said you might end up with a sore arm, but
not a
I
sore
had it
ass.
10 o'clock this morning, and I'm still here.
Yeah. So your arm wasn't stiff then?
No,
No, no, from a Pfizer. Right, okay. You can see where I was going with that, but I won't labour the point any longer.
yeah, I wasn't going to go there either.
I was just thinking, it'd be quite handy if they could shove a few extra bits in there for free, as it were. Well done you. And there were lots of old people there, all like shuffling forward.
Hundreds.
Were there?
I said to the lady, I said I didn't realise there was so many old people around.
Where you
The
and
road was blocked, everything.
so where did they
Car
put
park
them?
was full.
Where did they put them? Because
Them,
you've
as
got to
in,
have. From what I understand, is you've got to watch each person who's had the jab for 15 minutes because
that's right.
that's the time
Yeah,
that if there is an adverse effect, it will probably happen and fairly rapidly.
yeah, I'm glad you said that because they kept us there 15 minutes.
Right. So they sat you down with a cup of tea.
No,
Didn't even give you a cup of tea. You've gone in there.
no.
They put something you don't know what, quickly concocted last year in a lab somewhere, and they didn't even give you a nice cup of tea to say, well, I suppose they'd run out of tea, wouldn't they? Let's face it, there's probably too many old people lined up there than they've got tea bags. Not enough
But
bags.
it actually turned out a nice day because I bumped in.
Bumped
This
into all
lady
your
said her
friends.
name. This lady said her name, and I thought that sounds familiar. So
Oh,
when the nurse went, I said, "Did you just say your name was Summer?" And she said, "Yes." I said, "Did you used to live in so and so road?" She said, "Still do."
still
I
do.
said, "Well, you must know me. You work with my wife." And she said, "Oh, that's Chris." I
Ah,
said, "Yeah." She said, "I wouldn't have recognised you." Of course, I haven't seen her for about it must be 20 years and more.
oh, bless you. So you've become so handsome that she didn't recognise. She says, I thought you were that miserable, ugly-looking bloke, but look at you now. You have blossomed into this wonderful, handsome man. Are you single? Yes. So
Yeah, I'm the nearly bald explorer.
are you? And so there's no privacy there when they're reading out the names.
No, there was four of us in the room.
Oh, I see. So you
Yeah,
said there were
but
hundreds of them. What they were all in the car
ah,
park,
but it was a big place,
right?
so I could see hundreds of people in one room,
Yeah,
lots in another, and then they started opening up. Well, like the doctor's little
yeah,
surgery. We got four in there, but there's so many,
yeah.
it's all backing up.
And were they all masked up?
Oh yeah,
Yeah. So
yeah.
you'll be able to take that mask off in a few weeks' time, won't you?
I don't know about that, but I was walking to the surgery and I thought, oh, because the road was blocked. So I parked my car and I was walking down to the surgery, no mask. So I turned around and ran back the car, and then I turned around to run back to get my place.
Yeah. And
And
500 others
people
are in.
was telling me not to run.
Oh, were they? Oh, yeah. Keep calm. Yeah, because I don't think that you're
Yeah,
allowed. Like most of these things, you mustn't have done too much exercise.
one bloke said, "Stop running, you'll bloody kill yourself."
Yeah, don't kill yourself before you've had the vaccine. Let that do it. Then at least you can claim on the NHS. Wait, well, your family can. You know what I mean. Oh, it's so lovely to talk to you, Chris. Thank you so much for telling us all about it.
Yeah, now don't forget that watch business.
Yes, I'm going to go and do that watch business a bit later on, but that was fascinating. And we will get together and I will record in conversation with, because you've clearly got lots of fun conversation to have.
Do you think so?
Yes, I do. I do. You're a great character. And thank you for being part of our show.
Love it.
Love it. Marvellous. Well done, Chris. Talk to you real soon.
Yeah, okay then. Bye for now.
Take care. Ah, bless. That's the amazing Chris. How about that? Superb. Oh, wonderful. Isn't he a character? He's lovely. Had his vaccine. He's got his card. I was interested in that card. wonder if I can get a photocopy. If anyone's got I'd love to see what the card looked, purely for, as purely inquisitive for research purposes. My scanner isn't working at the moment, and I can't print things off, so don't worry. Lots of comments there after all of that. We'll get to the art in a second. Nice to see the old town of Eastbourne, where I grew up. Bernie, says Ron Langley. Richard is running GHQ, says Michael White, which is true. Jason Patrick says Happy New Year to Julia and family. Vaccine loyalty card, says Rasputin of Arlington. It did sound a bit like that, didn't it? It's like come back for an extra jab, and then you get the third one free. Station Master's Choice says that insurance companies use metal badges to show which houses were insured. The Sun was one. Oh, yes, back in the day. So in the old days when the house caught fire, if you haven't got the correct insurance on the exterior of the house, they didn't bother to put the fire out. What a clever system. Yeah, cunning, isn't it? Julia says Happy New Year to Jason Patrick, of course. Henry's Adventures is there, just what I was thinking, Richard. Buy one, get one free. It's the new passport. They're going to have people selling them on street corners. They will. I mean, there'll be a huge black market for it. Vincent Quill says, spot on, Richard. Put it up on your FB page and we can all buck the system. Exactly. Connor says, kind of shows the government lied about your freedom. And Clive Waterfall says, the fireplaces on the Sun were issued by the Sun Fire Office. I've often wondered if they became Sun Alliance. Yes, I suppose if you had a fire as a result of using a magnifying glass with the sun shining through it and causing the fire, would they be blamed for it, seeing as they are the Sun Fire Group? Who knows? What else have we got there? Station Master says, well, I have to stand corrected. The metal shapes indeed were structural in intention. Perhaps the shapes had superstitious intent. Oh, yes. Or were taught wrong in school. Oh, yeah, maybe. And Ron Langley says, I think they have. The church have gone now, Bernie. Right, okay. And so that was it. Brilliant. Thank you. Lots of other ones there. Can't read them all out. Time, ladies and gentlemen. Time to have a look at a bit of some art. Shall we have a look at some art? I think we should. Let's go into the Vobes Art Gallery. So there it is, the Vobes Art Gallery. Here we are. This seems to have inspired a lot of people to get in touch. It seems to have gone down really well. I'm so thrilled. Because somebody like myself who's not really very competent at art, I would love to be able to draw, but just not that confident or competent even at most things, to be fair. But I would love to be able to draw. I'd love to be able to draw my own pictures to illustrate books and things like that. But I feel that I just don't. Maybe later, when Parkinson's have set in and I can get that sort of jolty look, maybe like Rhubarb and Custard. That sort of had a sort of, you remember the cartoon on the telly, Rhubarb? I'm sure it was Bob Godfrey, wasn't it? Did he have Parkinson's when he drew that? Everything was all like really shaky. It was great. I loved it. So in the now we've got lots of different bits of art here. So I've got to be careful how I do this. Only on an account of not accidentally showing my email account like I did the other day, and then people reading all my private emails, because not all of it are in boxes. So what we're going to do, we're going to start first of all with Michael White, who sent in a couple of items, and they're very, very, I must show you this one. Michael's obviously got a hidden talent, and this is what we love to see. So let's just come in here. So I don't know what it's called, hasn't got a name, but isn't it absolutely amazing? Look at that. Beautiful young lady there. It reminds me, my mother had a Spanish portrait, very similar to that. But the woman had her hair tied back, pulled back. But wow, how about that? I mean, it's just, everything about that is brilliant. The proportions are fantastic, the colours and all of that. Michael has clearly got an incredible skill there, which is lovely. And a second one he sent in, which is equally marvellous. Look at that. Beautiful, beautiful work. I take my hat off because I couldn't possibly do that. Now I wonder if this is the same character in this one here as in the previous picture that we just saw there, because you almost got the same sort of hair. It's almost like a graphic novel. Absolutely amazing. So yeah, very, very impressed with that, Michael. You see, the viewers are the ones who've got the talent, not the bald twit on the screen. Now let's have a look. Hang on, I've got to get into my email. See if I can find my email account. Is it still up and running? Hopefully it is. Okay. So here we go. This now, Robert Croser. Dear old Robert Croser. I don't know if he's out there tonight. I haven't seen his name come up. Robert Croser's out there. Has sent in some artwork. And he says, I don't consider myself an artist, but I do draw for relaxation and draw my children and own amusement. I find portraits and still life boring. To drawing from imagination is much more satisfying. And some of these pictures, again, are quite remarkable. Let's have a little gander. Here we go. A sort of fantastic or a fantasy fairy pixie type character there in pencil, I assume that is, which is wonderful. And here we go, different heads, very well done. I mean, all the proportions. This is where I was really struggling. And mine, I just had very, very simplistic. I found it very difficult to do. Here's an old bunch of peculiar looking characters from some fictional story of some description, some world, some underworld. Amazing looking characters. Very beautiful young lady there, which it's got the same sort of stuff in the hair, a bit like Michael White's picture that we just saw. And then, golly, presumably that is in ink, is it? It's some sort of dragon type thing or monster of something, which is rather amazing. And then this is what very sort of Lord of the Rings type thing, is it? Lord of the Rings? I just saw Kerry Baldwin's comment regarding the goblins. She says it's the Vobes audience. Some characters here who I don't know who they are, but they sort of look semi-recognisable. Not quite sure if they're supposed to be. And another character there. And some more here. They look like... that reminds me of the TV series Kung Fu from the 1970s. I don't know if you remember Kung Fu. But yeah, thank you so much. Interesting to see your artwork. How marvellous is that? That's Robert Croser for you. He's a dark horse. Hats off to you. Lovely drawings indeed. I'm just looking to see if he's out there. He will be upset if he was and he's missed it. But he has. Now, we've got some more art. We're going to come back to some more art. Susan Luca has sent in some wonderful stuff. And Mark Burgess as well, which we will come back to very shortly. But before we leave the art... if we go into the video box, do you remember Anis McGowan sent us a video of the felt pulling? Was it felt pulling? I forget what it's called now. Anyway, she sent us another video. Hang on, let's go into the video box. And Anis, yes, Anis, this is, you remember all those wonderful things with all that wonderful, amazing things? And I said, but how do you do it? How do you get to that point? Well, she's made a video. She's made a video. So, gosh, it's making me feel completely useless. But never mind. Let's have a look and find out all about this needle felting. Yes, that's it. Thank you very much, Audrey. Needle felting. Superb.
First of all, I wash the raw fleece and then put it out to dry. The next procedure is to feed the raw fleece into our drum carder. This makes the wool into what we would call a wool bat. Wool batting is ideal for needle felting. Here are some of our Herdwick bats that we've knit. By rolling up some of the wool batting tightly, then prodding it with your felting needle, you can create shapes and build up a sculpture. This is one of the baby penguin kits which I make. You have to watch your fingers, that felting needles are really sharp. This is Richard demonstrating one of his picture kits that he designed. The Hessian material is ideal for needle felting onto. He's drawn out the design and then he's adding the wool. The Herdwick and Lakeland fells are the subject. Here are a couple of Richard's designs which is made into cushions. Our daughter Heather, she loves horses, and this is her first attempt at needle felting a picture. You can also needle felt over a wire armature, which is what I did with this horse. Cheers.
How about that? How about that? That is just incredible, and so not only is it charming, but very beautiful and quaint and all of that. It's just it's gobsmacking, I think. It's strikingly effective. There we are. Julia took the words. These are beautiful, says Clive Waterfall. This is awesome stuff. Very clever. I couldn't understand on the one that Richard was demonstrating with the lake scene with the duck in the middle and the hill. You're doing this, but what's to stop it from falling out? That it's not. You're not gluing it down, are you? Couldn't see that you were gluing it. That's amazing. Yeah, totally spellbinding. Spellbinding, it really is. It's so lovely and so beautiful to see, and amazing. Mark Friedman says Richard, this in his bizarre hatred of the BBC doesn't know after what the thing. Hang on a minute, I'm trying to try and read that again. Thing is, Richard in his bizarre hatred of the BBC doesn't know there's been a felting show on BBC 4 for a year now. No, didn't know that. And I mean, that is the thing about not having a television, of course, is that there is certain stuff that you miss. Of course, you're bound to. I mean, but there's so much stuff that you may not even know that is on. So actually, rather than watch something that's on the telly, where you don't know anything, it's so impersonal. Sorry, someone's been needle felting my tongue then. I find it much more invigorating when somebody has made a video like Anis, who you can talk to and ask questions. So much better and so more impressive than something in a studio that's put together with the way that they do it on TV, so impersonal, so overdramatic. I have no idea what the programme would be like, but you can imagine if it's a bit like Bake Off or any of these sort of things, it's a competition and just hideous. Whereas just watching something as plain and as matter of fact and honest as Anis has just shown us, is so much better than watching something on the BBC. That's my opinion. That was really so beautiful. Thank you for showing us, Andrew Norris. Fantastic. Lance Frog in a box says, "Come on, Richard. We need some of your illustrated art to join our gallery. Don't be shy. Give it a try. I could even teach you how to fly." Well, you certainly know how to rhyme. I'll have to dig out some of my. Hang on, I'm just digging. Got now. It just so happens that there's a thing here. I used to do. I've got all the sketch pads in here. Is there anything that I can show you? Oh yeah. This is bark rubbing. The lovely Julia and I. That's a holly oak. That one is a horse chestnut. Dean Cooper.
Hello, Richard.
You've rung in on the wrong phone.
Have I?
Yeah, you're on my personal phone.
Oh, I need to ring the other one, sorry.
Yeah, because then everybody can hear you.
Yeah, I'll ring the other one.
You're a star. Thank you very much. That's Dean Cooper who's going to ring in. This is at London Plane. You can see the difference, can't you? It's fantastic. And what else have we got in here? That was me attempting to draw a person. Trying to walk, somebody running. It was dreadful. Absolutely dreadful. Here we go. Hello, Dean.
Hello, Richard. I got the right one.
You got the right one. Yeah, don't worry about it. It can easily happen. How are you?
Yeah, I'm very well, Richard. How are you doing?
Yeah, good, thank you. At the moment, ready to get my injection. Yeah.
You've had a jab. You're waiting for a jab, are you?
No, not a jab. I'm just going to have an injection of cocoa before I go to bed.
Oh, I thought.
Yeah, nice little. Yeah, get the old cocoa fluids going. So you're fit and well. Are you out and about in your lorry?
I am. Yes. I've been past your place many times actually this week. Last 2 days, I've been at the back alley of your house.
Have you been down the back alley? Have you?
Well, beside it, yeah. I live in the station road, but I can't go down there. It's too narrow.
Ah, yeah, absolutely. I wouldn't even take my van down there.
No, it's a bit tight, isn't it?
Yeah.
Even the police were concerned this morning. They saw me out there and they thought, can we get it as a tick or a thumbs up? I was backseating there, actually, so I didn't actually drive right down. I was just in the end of it.
Oh, right. Fair dues. Oh,
no,
hello.
You can't hear him on there. You have to say hello. This is Bradley. Say hello to Richard.
Hello, Bradley.
Hello, Ian.
Hello.
Hello,
You're
Bradley.
live on the Vobes show.
You're on the Vobes show. You're live. 600,000 million people are watching. Some of them are made up.
Say something. Say hello to Julia. She's watching.
Where?
On there.
He's not in there.
She's not. She's
she's
not in
watching.
there. She's watching somewhere else. The
Look.
lovely Julia.
There's Julia. She's put a comment on there. Look.
There you go. Look, those rubbings have sentimental value. I thought Richard had thrown them out and he couldn't remember. I haven't thrown them out, Julia. That was the day that we did that show on bark rubbing, and bark rubbing. Have you ever done that?
Yeah, I've done bark rubbing, gravestone rubbing, done it all.
Yeah, you rubbed yourself up against all sorts of things, I've heard. But
Right,
bark,
yeah, I've had a few.
that was the day that Julia had a checkup at the hospital. So we did the show, a video in. She was mighty pregnant she was, ready to drop. And we did the show in the park, in Homefield Park.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
You know where that is. And then I just said, well, I'll come with you to the, what's the name? Whatever it was. What do you call it? Hospital. Because I said, I'll drive you home afterwards, seeing she'd done the show. And, I didn't get to drive her home because they said, I'm never so sorry, you've got to stay here now and give birth.
Yeah, it was actually, there was something that happened with one of my work colleagues, actually, just before Christmas.
Hmm.
And she didn't even know she was pregnant, apparently.
She didn't even know she was pregnant?
No, she didn't. No. And she she went to the laboratory and then had to number 2, as it were, and out popped a little girl.
No.
Yep, and she's healthy, fit and well. So it's it's good news all round.
Well, it's a good job she sort of turned round to have a look what that was.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's
you
amazing.
know, some women might be a bit, oh, I'm not going to look at it. Can't flush the thing down. It's got two legs sticking out, and goodness sake.
Yeah, I thought it was, something for the worse, but obviously it's not. It was something for the good, and so I found out this week. Oh, so what has happened? She hasn't come back to work, and they say, oh yeah, she's got a little girl. What?
Yeah, she's got a little girl.
Yeah.
Thought she was having a dump. Good job she didn't have twins.
Pretty much, that's what she was doing, Richard. And yeah, and yeah, it comes as a surprise to her.
I bet
she wasn't expecting it. She didn't even know she was pregnant.
she didn't know she was pregnant. Was she a smoker?
Nope.
No,
No,
that was.
Well, she used to be. She's not now.
No, but I mean, can you imagine? You didn't know you're pregnant, and you're just carrying on smoking, eating all the wrong food, and all of that. I mean, at least if you are a smoker and you think, oh, I'm pregnant, you give up, don't you? Or you just reduce everything down, and you try and eat sensibly, and you take more iron in your diet and less fluoride and all those sort of things. But if you don't know, and suddenly, oh, I feel a bit. That's a bit odd. Oh, there we go. Oh, look, little doll down there. Wait, that's wriggling.
Well, yeah. Obviously she had to go to hospital afterwards, obviously, and they sorted the rest of it out. But yeah, I think she's quite proud of her little baby.
I can't get over that. She must have, at some point, thought, God, blimey, this is a big one. This is really taking.
Exactly.
She mustn't she? She must have been going, phew. And then thinking, not sort of thinking that if she didn't know she was about to give birth and she just thought it was a very big, you know what. And thinking, well, I can't ask anybody to help. I've got to deal with this somehow. I've got to deal with this. And, the pressure. Oh, I'll just give this one last push. Ah! And there it goes. And, oh, my God, a little baby.
I mean, she's not the slimmest person in the world, She's quite a bit of a buxom girl, but...
right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So she just thought, oh, I've just put on a few pounds. Is that what she thought then?
She's got a few pounds, but...
Yeah.
But she was working in a warehouse, lifting boxes and heavy stuff and all that sort of thing just a week or so beforehand.
My God. My
I
God.
mean, I can't believe she hasn't had any kicks or anything like that, but obviously
She must
have thought it was a ghost or phantom kicks or something.
Yeah, maybe she's just used to having dodgy curries and things and thinking, oh, that's sliding about in me a bit. Oh, dear, what's that? Bang. God, dear, that chicken. Chicken curry I had last night is really kicking me. Ow. Dear, oh, dear. How awful is that? That's amazing. What an amazing story.
Yeah, it's quite amazing. But, she should be back in March. And
Excellent.
I've worked with her for many, many years, so I know I'm quite well.
So are you any good at drawing, Dean?
I have been. Yeah, I've done drawing for art at school.
Right. Will you be sending in some art for the show?
I can do, yes. I've done some very good landscape pictures. So I actually passed my art exam with my landscape picture I did.
Did you? Well, we would very much like to see it.
Well, I don't know if I can find it, but I could try. It might be around here somewhere.
All right. If not, just, next time that you're waiting at the red lights in your van, just whip out a bit of paper, do a quick sketch for us.
Yeah, there might be a bloke walked across the road who's I know is a board explorer. I could catch him in it.
Yes. I know, you're trying to knock me down, aren't you, if you see me in your...
No.
I know what you like. Fantastic. Well, it's lovely talking to you, Dean.
Yeah, and you, Richard.
You look after yourself.
Well.
And, call us again.
Yeah, no worries, mate.
Pat Bradley on the head.
Yeah, he's here. He's going to go back to bed now.
Is he doing is he managing to do any schoolwork, by the way?
He's at homeschooling, but George and Alfie are actually being given places in Beacon, so they're actually going to school.
Are they?
Yeah, because they find it easier to work at school than they do at home.
Yeah, but how do you? Well, and you're a key worker because you've got to drive.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I see. So that's.
Well, no, the school said they got allocated places for them. So,
I see. So they could, we can have another 10.
Yeah.
Marvellous.
It's a shame, yeah. Only can't fit any more in, but yeah, I mean, Yeah, they said they got allocated places for George and Alfie, so they're still going to school.
Right.
Whereas Bradley, obviously, because he's in an infant school, they've shut his school down.
Yeah.
Only for those that have got to go in.
One person in my school.
Yeah, I know there's people in your school.
Some people.
Because I'm sure with Bradley, of course, I've met Bradley, and he's a lovely little character, boisterous little boy. I'm sure when they were looking down the list, going, "Oh yeah, Bradley." Yeah, no, we're closing the school down, Mr. Cooper. We're ever so sorry. We couldn't possibly take Bradley. No, you have him for a while.
No, we did try and tempt them, see if we can get him back in school.
Did you? I bet you did.
Yeah, they wouldn't let him come. So, yeah, he has to do his schoolwork at home with mummy, in between.
I
And
wish I was like you.
he wants to go to work with me, yeah.
Yeah, but he'd much rather sit in the back of the lorry there.
No, he does. He likes working around the lorry all day, yeah.
Well, I could imagine little Bradley coming back. You know, you open up the back of the lorry and there he is with his clipboard and pen and going, right, we've got a parcel here for number 32. We've got a parcel here. With 6 parcels here for that firm over there. Come on, Dad, get these out.
He sits in the cab with me, not in the back.
No, I didn't think he'd really be in the back. I'm not allowed anyone in the back of my van. Anyway, we got more videos and some more art to have a look at. But it's so nice to hear from you, and thank you for the story about the woman who gave birth. Goodness gracious, that's amazing. Yeah. Look after yourself, Dean.
Anyway, yep. Take care, Richard.
Take care. Talk to you soon.
I'll be watching.
Yeah, thank you. Fantastic. Bye-bye. There we go. That's Dean Cooper calling from, Tunbridge Wells, Uckfield Way, that sort of area of the county, which is very nice. Thank you, Dean. So that was my bark rubbing. You saw all that marvellous stuff. And then I did do hang on, stretching down here. See if I did any other sketches before we move on, seeing as I was challenged. Oh, yeah, there we are, look. That was an attempt at a woman walking along. It's rubbish. Total and utter rubbish. At least I've got an Essie now and a fire in the front room. I can burn all that. We're going to have a look at some more art. Then I'm going to see if I can get this watch working. That would be endless entertainment here, you know. No expense spared. Right, so we'll go into the gallery one more time. Isn't that great? I love that. I think that's marvellous. Now, okay, so I've got 2 more bits of art. Let's start with... Shush. We'll start with, what should we do? Susan Luca got in touch. Now, I've got to get the first email here. Susan Luca got in touch and said, I don't know if Susan's out. Are you out there, Susan? I thought I read your name out. She says, Dear Richard, thank you for your lovely filming, storytelling and Vobes shows. That's very nice. This email is number 1. The rest come via WeTransfer, which is grand. She says, I've been a ceramic artist since 1998. First started out creating pots. And is this reikuing again, teaching reiki? Is it? I must get my head together with what reiki is, because the last artist that we spoke to did all the dots, did a bit of reiki, didn't she? Or have I got that? Have I got my 2 people mixed up? Anyway, this is an exciting process done in a kiln, presumably not the reiki. Reiki is mine stuff, isn't it? This is an exciting firing process in a kiln outside. Oh, and I would love to share that with your listeners in the summer. Well, we would love to come along and see a process, or if I'm allowed to come along and film you doing it, would be fantastic. Since 2019, I've been painting my pots with clay slips called ngobes. Is that right? I don't know if I've got that pronounced. Engobes. It's like ngobes or engobes. Engobes? Something like that. This fits in well with my love of walking, sketching and staying in my lovely warm workshop in the winter. I live in South Devon. All right, so I can't just pop over, can I? The South Hams. I've been to South Hams. I've been right. South Hams is really, really down there, isn't it? And the little lanes. I mean, they are. You're sunken. I've been down South Hams, in those Devonshire lanes. I mean, that's real Devonshire sort of place down there. Up, down, down, along, round, along, bound, a bit along. You doing there then? Isn't it? Isn't it? Isn't it? It is, isn't it? Well, I've been there, see. Down there in Devon, see. Or the little market town called Kingsbridge. Have you ever been there? Well, funny you should say that, see, because, no, I don't. Actually, I can't remember the name, but it was in South Hams. Over the years, I've sold my work in galleries, ceramic festivals, and at craft fairs. Since lockdown, it's been very difficult selling my work online as the pots build up a texture with every firing, and this is difficult to see through social media and are best handled to experience all the work they go through. Must be a nightmare, then, with this lockdown to try and sell anything because photos never do it. What about video? Would that help, on turning it on a wheel? I don't know if that would work. I'm just looking to see if Susan is actually out there. But anyway, Mark Friedman says, I've always wanted to see a picture of Richard when he had hair. Never seen one. Any chance? There are very few pictures of me with hair, funnily enough. But I will have to dig one out. I'll try and dig one out. I mean, it might be a very young-looking picture. Right, so, okay, so that was that. So let's have a look at some of Susan's work. I've got to try and... Here we are. Now, Wait, is this video here? Oh, I do have video. But I didn't put the video into the video player. So, we'll come to those in a second. I didn't... Oh, yeah, Susan Luke is out there. Big thumbs up. So let's have a look at some pictures first of all. And then I'll see if I can play the video in. So let's just whiz over to here. So this is... some of this amazing stuff with your drawing on. Love to see how you do it. Right, let's come back. There's quite a few. But these are beautiful, aren't they? Beautiful, decorative, earthy, organic-looking pieces of art. And if I had a nice, clean house that was uncluttered on a shelf with just a couple of things, they would look wonderful. I guess that's a sketch of what you're going to do in the old sketchbook with a bit of pencil there and some... Is that watercolour or some crayon? Crayon, maybe? Or chalk, coloured chalk. Yeah, look at that. Working out the designs. They're very... Oh, what's the word? I can never think. Art terms I'm rubbish at. This is where the lovely Julia would be here. But sort of atmospheric, I suppose, is what I'm thinking of. Now look at that. Isn't that amazing? That looks like an egg that is got lather coming from it. How beautiful is that? We have some very talented people out there, These are lovely. These are sort of like coastal scenes. The ones I'm looking at now. That's how, or river, or movement. It's got movement in it, like rushing water. So this is some of the material. I guess that's the clay. Now, of course, I know these may well be out of sequence because I wasn't really sure what sequence they go in. But I guess that's the clay. It's not pastry. It looks like pastry, but it isn't pastry. And I see, and you roll it up, just simple as that. And then it looks like here you're covering it with, plaster of Paris or some sort of paint or some paint that will glaze or something, which I guess at the same time glues it together. And then, oh, I see. And then from that, you're sculpting onto the basic layer. Now, if I'm getting this wrong... Feel free, Susan, to call in a sec. And there you see various different ones all put together. That's amazing. And there's the finished article. What about that? Look at that. Just, I mean, on one hand, you think, gosh, it's so simple, but on the other hand, it's just so effective. And that's what that's what I like with some art, is that it just belies it looks simple, but actually, there's a skill to it. Here we go. Look, this is the creation process. Now, this is a video. Hang on. I don't know if there's audio on your video. It's coming over my microphone, unfortunately, because I didn't put it into the system. But I see what you mean about the layers. So you're layering it up. Hang on, is there another one after this? So you're layering it up, building it up, which I can see why photos don't really give it its do justice. Let's do this one. There's no music on this one. It's just being turned. How about that? I think that was it. That's yeah. Of course, you can overuse your stings, can't you? So I didn't mean to fire that off. That's brilliant. How brilliant is that? That is amazing. How wonderful. We're getting lots of interesting comments there. Very nice creative work. Well done, Susan, says Ian Dance. Telephone direct. What? Dean says, hi, Richard and everyone. Just catching up on your videos. So popped in to say hi. Hope everyone is well. All good. Like it when people change to Mr. something something. Linda says, I'm back tonight. Oh, it's nice to see you, Linda. And your work, Susan, has excited me enough to respond. I collect studio pottery and love raku and have found your website only recently. What a coincidence. Can somebody just explain again what raku is? I thought that was a massage technique or a mind thing. So now I've got confused. Somebody needs to call in and tell me what it is. 0793 4746 790. Absolutely lovely. Nice to see you back, Linda, most definitely. Here we go. We have a phone call. Let's find out who that is. Hello, caller. Welcome to the Vobes One-Eye Kenobi Shobi.
Sean from London.
Sean from London. How lovely.
I'm calling in regarding reiki.
Yeah, what is it?
It's, well, I've had it done to me in the past. It's where you lie down,
yes,
and somebody will either put their hands onto your body, or they will just hover about 4 centimeters and just go over your body.
Right.
And they pass down the universal energy from their body into the person they are dealing with, and it's to release the negative energy.
Right.
That's in that person's body. It'd be quite nice to have somebody on the show, maybe to do you.
Yeah, that would be fantastic. I like to be done. But so two artists then have sort of almost put these two things together. That's where I was confused, because I thought, oh, Reiki must be a process that they do with art, but they're two separate things.
From what I remember, it's a sort of Japanese form of alternative medicine.
Right.
Where if you've got some sort of pain in your body, they'll sort of put your hands just over the top, and you can feel heat coming out of the person's hands as well. Right. Yeah. No, I have heard of, when you put it like that. I have heard of that. But for some reason, I suppose well, maybe it's either that they are in tune with the alternative sort of space, and therefore they are just channeling. Channeling the energy.
Right.
Or maybe it's just a coincidence that they do that on the side as well, because you've got to be that particular type of person to be in tune with things.
Right.
So that would obviously play a good part in doing art.
Yes. Well, this is. I mean, it's just that two artists have said that that, especially one lady was doing with the dots and stuff, which had its own name, which I can't remember now, Miki Con or something, and I apologise for getting that wrong. And then Susan here, who sort of said, I do these pots and this special style of stuff, and I'm a Reiki teacher, and it's like, oh. It's like, is it because it's hands-on? But Susan just says no.
Well, I'd be interested. Get her to phone in next.
Yeah. Susan, can you phone in? Give us a call.
I'll get off and Susan can phone.
Yeah, I'd love to find out whether it's just so happens that that they do the same, or whether it's
And then when the lockdown's over, she can have you on the kitchen table and put her hands on you.
Yeah, thanks. Thanks very much. Nice to hear your dulcet tones, young Sean. Bye-bye for now.
Susan's going to phone it.
Yeah, let's see. So, Susan, if you can, give us a tinkle. We'd love to find out about your art. By the way, I think she sent a picture, actually. Let me just see if I can find the picture. Now you say that. I think there was another one from Susan in her workshop. That's not it. I'm doing that wrong. I'd keep answering the same one. Here we go. This is a picture of Susan. I would like... Here we go. I think this may be Susan ringing in. Let's find out. Hello, welcome to the Vobes Show. Hello? Can you hear me? No. Hung up. Hung up. Do try again if that was you, Susan. Mike Freedom says, Richard, why and when did you change from Lindsay to Vobes, and what is Vobes? Vobes is my stage name. When I tried to get into the Equity Union, I couldn't have it because there was already somebody of that name. So many, many years ago, golly, when I was in my early 20s, I was forced to change it. And it has stayed with me ever since. Hello, caller. Hello, welcome to the show.
Ah, hello.
Hello.
Susan Luca here.
Hello, Susan. Lovely to hear from you.
I seem to have a double speed that time.
Yes, if you pause,
Turn you off.
if you pause the YouTube channel, because that's slightly delayed because of the way the signal gets out. It's got to get down to South Hams,
Hello, Richard.
Hello.
Lovely to talk to you.
Lovely to talk to you, Susan. And I've just been, as you saw, admiring your amazing work there. I'm just putting a picture of you on the screen so people can see you in your workshop with all your stuff. So just clear that thing up with the Reiki business. Is that part? Does that help your art, or is what? How does it work?
Raku.
Raku.
Yes, it's an ancient Japanese firing technique. So, what happens is when you make the pot, and it's what you call in the green, which is just the wet clay.
Yes.
Then I would paint a lovely white porcelain clay slip over it, and I would burnish it with a pebble and make it all smooth and shiny. And then I would wait for the pot to dry and biscuit fire it. That turns the clay that is held together with water into a ceramic piece. And then I would cover the piece in a resist slip, a bit like putting a marzipan on a Christmas cake. And then I would cover it in a glaze, which is a bit like putting the icing on the marzipan. And then I have a raku kiln outside, which is an oil drum lined with ceramic fibre and two gas propane burners. And within 30 minutes, the burners take the temperature of the kiln up to 1,000 degrees centigrade, and that is melting the glaze. And I lift the pot out of the kiln. It was about 850 degrees centigrade at that point. and I have to wear masks and gloves and heat protective clothing. And are you still there?
Yes, I'm still here. No, listening with bated breath. So yes, so I got that completely wrong. That whole reiki thing about the hands and what have that's a good different thing. So
when I lifted out of the kiln, I put it into oak shavings, and because of the thermal shock, the glaze crackles, and all of the carbon that is burnt with the oak shavings goes through the crackles of the glaze through to the burnished pot. And when it's all cooled, all the glaze falls off, and I clean it all up. So you're left with this crackle surface. But that river of copper you saw on the raku pot, that is all influenced by the river Avon that flows. Well, there's many river Avons, but the river Avon that flows through Devon and goes through one of the villages I used to live at, and out to Bantham and out to sea.
Wow. So it's quite a long and intensive process. It's not like throwing a pot, you get a bit of clay on a wheel and you've up there, a bit of glaze, a couple of blobs of paint, and that's it, out the door. It's £15. Thanks very much.
Nothing like that old malarkey.
No. So where did you learn to do this?
Well, I went to college after one of life's many crises. We all know about those.
Oh yeah, don't we just? And
I sort of went and did art, and I just pottered about a bit, and we just had a raku class. So that was it. Pyrotechnics. That's it. Let's set everything on fire.
Gosh.
And I did that for quite a long time. Trying to earn a living from it was quite hard.
Yes.
It's a very long process. Not all the same old pieces turn out exactly how you want them. You get the hammer, smash them up. But, we had such a wet
Get the
winter.
hammer and smash them up. You can't sort of sell them as... I suppose that art, you can't sell art as seconds, can you? Like you can buy crockery. Or can you?
Well, you could do, but do you really want it out there with your name on it?
Well, I know. If you've got to pay the milk bill.
Well, yes, I see where you're coming from on that one. But no. So we had such a wet winter, didn't we? 2018, 2019. I couldn't raku outside and all the wind and rain and sciatica and all that malarkey. So I started painting pots inside. So that paint is called engobe.
Endobe?
Engobe.
Ah, right. So it's a silent G, is it?
Engobe. Yeah. And do you know what? Instead of putting glazes on, because I'm rubbish at that, it's a clay slip, but it's got a little bit of glaze constituency in it. So it acts like a paint.
Right.
And when you fire it, and fire it to quite a high temperature, 1,240, I think, or 80 degrees centigrade, it becomes vitrified. So, that's all right. That's sort of, I can get away with that. That's painting.
Well, you've introduced something which I had not ever seen before, which is always a good thing because it's nice to expand one's mind. And what would be great when the days are long and the COVID is long gone, it would be great to come down to your studio there in South Hams at King's. What did you say? It was King's somewhere or other? Kingsbridge. Down there where they're all a bit like that. Is that still goes on down there?
Oh, it is. But what you can hear is my very good Gloucestershire accent.
Ah, it's very good Gloucestershire accent.
Very good Gloucestershire accent, yes. Well, I hope you think so.
Yeah, no, very lovely accent. And it would be lovely to come down and witness the process and maybe film a bit of it and interview you, because I'm sure the audience would love to see it all in action.
Oh, yes. Well, yes. You have to hold on to your eyebrows there, Richard.
Well, that's all I've got left.
It all gets very hot.
Does it? That's right. Well, in my earlier years, fairly recently, but not that recent, I used to be a fire eater. No, that's true. Don't laugh. I did. I performed all over the place, eating fire, rolling firebrands up and down my body. There are
Well, I could
photos.
definitely do with you with the raku. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I
definitely.
don't know that I would go to the temperatures that you're asking for, because I use paraffin, which is one of the less warm flames. Most people assume that, you know, fire is hot. Well, it is hot, but they assume.
Didn't that taste horrible?
Oh, it tastes disgusting. That's why I gave it up. It's also carcinogenic, which wasn't very wise of me. But, you know, people were paying me outside big country hotels or big country houses, Georgian houses, to stand on their doorstep on things like firework night. And they would be having a massive party, and all these lords and ladies would arrive, and they'd want the fire eater out there blowing these big flames for about, you know, 40 minutes, 45 minutes as people arrived. And then I could just go home and get paid, thank you very much, rather well.
Well, that's very good, isn't it? So
Yeah.
People pay me to set things on fire as well.
There you are,
They're
you see.
They're pots, you see, so we've got something in common.
Something in common. Well, it'd be lovely. It would be lovely to come down and do that. Thank you so much, Susan, for sharing that with us on the show.
All right, you're welcome. And Southam, beautiful place.
Yeah.
One of your viewers said about railway lines and that in Kingsbridge. And funnily enough, I'm investigating just down the road from me, which would have been the train that went from Kingsbridge up to South Brent and all that sort of thing. Because you're going to have to tell me how to do a film, Richard, and how to put it together.
Yes.
I don't know how to do that.
Oh, it's very easy. Very easy. It's far more easier than what you're doing with your propane gas, I can tell you that. And
anyway,
safer.
I won't bore your listeners anymore, but thank you so much, everybody.
No, that's a pleasure. Stay in touch, and as soon as we can get out from our inhabitations of hibernations even, it'd be lovely in the sort of spring, summertime to come zooping down there.
You're welcome. Plenty of fresh air around here.
Yeah, that's what we need. I need some fresh air because I've run right out. Anyway, lovely to talk to you, Susan. Take care.
Toodle pip.
Toodle pip. Bye-bye. Thanks for calling. Bye. There we are. That was the lovely Susan down there in Southampton. A little bit like that. They are nice people, though, down there, obviously. And all that fresh air, you need it. Boy, oh boy, do you need it. I think we'll go into the video box. I can't remember how many more videos we got. And there we go. Lots of comments there. Very interesting. Talking about the train line there. You can learn more on the Vobes show than you can on TV, says Robert Brailsford. Quite right. Nice to see you out there, Robert. Nigel Sadler says, hello, sorry I'm late. Oh, Nigel, you've missed the best parts. Well, there's more. There's more to come. Have no fear. How are we doing? Oh, it's nearly time to go. So let's whiz in. And in the we've done what have we done? We've done Bernie, we've done Anis. Yes, Mike Stevens. Mike Stevens, of course. He's part 2 of Mike Stevens' walk, and then we've got one more set of art to get through, and then we'll say toodle pip ourselves for the night. Mike is on his way back.
Hello, this is Mike again on the return path from Something Hill, and I was just very much struck by the light this morning. I'll just guide you through. This is just a simple hedgerow, and we'll follow the light here. Perhaps this would normally be a very slow and boring shot, but let's look at the myriad shapes on the hedgerow. Perhaps this is hazel, which I have growing in my garden now. But look how the greys and blacks and some shoots there from berries or thorns are coming through, and perhaps a blackberry there. Look how beautiful this is. Just the myriad repetition of the thorns here, or the bushes, of this lovely hedgerow. Most people, I think, would just pass without even looking at this, but the light set this morning is just so beautiful. Look, coming into the browns now. We had the grey silver before, and now the brown colour of this beautiful hedgerow. Perhaps this is too artistic for some people, but I'm very struck by the subdued colours here of the browns and the silvers and the greens, the green in the distance of this small footpath. I wonder what that is. It's like almost like a fern, but it can't be a fern. Is that hazel? I'm not sure. Or hawthorn. Obviously it's January now and there's frost on the ground, as you can see here, and it's coming up to the dormant period. But that is my view of an artistic view of a hedgerow in January.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Mike. Lovely to see the outside and the hedges with, yeah, I imagine there's in there as well as the hawthorn, you've got blackthorn, you've probably got some brambles in there and maybe some ash by the looks of things. It looked really good. Thank you for sharing that. It's lovely to see. But not a laid hedge, was it? It wasn't a what, you know, like in the old-fashioned times where they would take the thing and they would lay it down and then the shoots would grow up like that. I would like to see some of that. A lot of these hedges now they've just planted a row of hawthorn and blackthorn and whatever else, and then it's not very wide. You know, you used to get some hedges that were sort of 5 meters wide. Amazing, you know, amazing hedges back in the old days. Huge, big corridors for wildlife, and that's very important. You don't have much space for wildlife in these hedges that they do. I mean, they're just sort of pretty delineations of fields, but you want to get the wild creatures back in there. But very thought-provoking, as Julia just so rightly said. So thank you so much for sending that in. That's all our videos, but ladies and gentlemen, just come back over here. We've got one more item on the art world. Mark Burgess has sent me an email. He says, Richard, following on from the discussion about art and photography, I'm sending you some of the photos of examples of my limited creative talents that you might like to include on a future Vobe show. And I'm open to everything. So let's have a little look at Mark's work here. Just share that over there. So he's principally sent in some photographs, but we've got, again, a bit more wildlife, some candles by the looks of things, with a whole load of ivy and, what is that, mistletoe with the round berries. Sort of like a Christmas scene there, and that is the same thing, I guess, when it's... I'm just trying to look if that's upside down, or... I'm just trying to find my way round around that picture, because it looks like there's either the floor or the ceiling above it. But absolutely interesting stuff. Thank you very much for sending that in. I think there's a couple more. Hang on a minute, because you sent me more pictures. Let's have a look. Let's just get that on the screen. Wrong button. There it is. So it looks like, Mark, you're into your displays of... I mean, this one's it looks like it's wilted. It's obviously had better time. But your displays of floral displays. That's what I'm saying. There's your Christmas tree, which is very nice, full of presents and all of there. And flat top bread. I think the lovely Julia and I have both had a little bit of flat top breads in our days, which is a bit of a shame. But thank you very much for that. I'm just looking to see, because I thought somewhere you'd sent... oh, yeah, this is... hang on, I'll read the email first. It says, my lovely dog Lily has sadly passed away on the 15th of December after 9 faithful years, walking companion and guard dog, and the source of comfort and merriment, now resting peacefully in the garden. Let's just have a quick look at your lovely dog Lily, I think you said. There she is. how lovely. And I'm sorry to hear about the passing there, Mark. That's very sad. Poor old Lily. But lovely. Yeah, do send in your art if you want us to include it, and the videos. Remember, the videos don't have to be about art. They can be about anything you're up to, whatever you're doing. Just something that is of interest that we can share on the show. It can be about all sorts of things. Hugs are coming in from the lovely Julia to you, Mark. Sorry to hear about Lily. Just can't believe that nobody else has wondered what the weird world of Vobes means, says Mark Freeman. And Andrew Norris says, so sorry to hear about Lily. Ed Loud says, flat top bread, even after decades of making bread, it can still happen. You are handling natural ingredients in uncontrolled temperatures and humidity. It can't be helped. Yes, it's happened to me, happened to Julia the other day. It just goes on, doesn't it? Mark says, Mum used to be a florist. Oh, right. There you go. So it's obviously you've got the bug. Thank you very much. That's all good. And Lance in a box says, hey, Richard, even a hat placed on a fence could be seen as art to someone. There are no rules out there. Well, that's what I'm beginning to learn and understand. I do find it difficult when people just take an ordinary object and shove it on a fence and say, well, there you are, that's art. I suppose because when I've tried to do it, it just seems so damn difficult. And anybody could just put a hat on a fence. But, I'm learning all the time. So there we go. Anyway, that's it for tonight's show. We've actually just run out of time yet again. Apologies for that, but it's been lovely to have your company this evening. Friday is the next time that we will be doing this. Tomorrow I will be doing my Listen with Vobes, reading The Archbishop's Children, or Children of the Archbishop, as it's actually called, by Norman Collins, which is a lovely book. So you can join me there. And, of course, I'll have a video out on the Bald Explorer channel, which is rather good. Vobes, he's saying, what did you mean? Vobes is very odd broadcasting eccentric services. That's what Vobes stands for. Thank you very much. Now you know what it is. Very odd broadcasting eccentric services. And you don't get more odd and eccentric than me. So thank you very much to everybody who's contributed. Thank you for all your comments. Sorry I haven't been able to read them all. I would like to do that, but it's not always easy. Thank you to Julia and Judith for moderating the show. Thank you for sending the videos. Thanks to our artists who've sent in wonderful pictures that we could share. And thanks to everybody who supports the channel by becoming a patron and enable me to make these videos and make these live shows at the same time. Appreciate that. If you want to support the show, go to baldexplorer.com and there you'll find at the top left-hand corner how you can become a donator and keep all of this nonsense happening. But that is it for now. Thank you so much. Look after yourself. Be back again 8 o'clock on Friday. Until then, take care. Be safe. Bye for now. Bye-bye. Bye.